Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you stop to watch this video. Also consider donating to the channel to help support and grow the channel. Now, Fast Eddie Hearn. Let me tell you something. Eddie Hearn, that man always has a trick up his sleeve. You know what Eddie Hearn reminds me of? I liken Eddie Hearn to Robert Garcia and his dad. What I mean by that is Robert Garcia is an outstanding trainer. But if he ever feels like he's lost and not being able to bring a fighter along, Robert Garcia will just quietly ease on over by his dad, pick that old mind of his, get the answers he needs, and then come back to training the individual who he couldn't help move along, implement whatever strategy that his father advised him, and he's back in business. And the same thing for Eddie Hearn. He's out here. Anthony Joshua lost all those titles. Eddie Hearn has no power, has no bargaining chips in the heavyweight division. And he's trying to figure out what he can do to continue being a player, a big-time player in the heavyweight division. Eases over to Pops. Hey, Barry, what do we do here? Barry drops a few jewels on him. Eddie Hearn returns. He's back in the fight. And now old Eddie Hearn has, with Flip Hrgovic, who Eddie Hearn co-promotes, right? Now he comes out here and he's trying to prevent the fight between Tyson Fury and Usyk because Hrgovic is the mandatory to the IBF. And he's been sitting there for a while, especially after beating Jaleel Zhang, which I think Zhang beat Hrgovic, but it is what it is. So Eddie Hearn is sitting there looking at this. Joshua wasn't able to get a fight with Fury for the WBC. Joshua was just sitting on the sideline. Eddie Hearn's watching what's about to take place. You know, Eddie Hearn has been in the middle of those unification bouts for the last few years. Him and AJ out there in the mix, right? But this would be the first time if Fury and Usyk were to go ahead where Eddie Hearn wouldn't be involved. And it's driving him crazy. So just as all the boxing fans were getting excited, with Fury seemed to be done with his shenanigans about retiring, returning to the sport, retiring, going to WWE, and all the other set of crap that he was talking. Just as we were getting excited about a February-March showdown between Usyk and Fury, Fast Eddie pulls a trick from out of his sleeve. And then he goes now and petition for an immediate purse bid, which means you cannot get an exception for undisputed. And then what that means is the only way that Usyk can go forward and fight Fury, because I think it's like 90 days or something, right? Is if Hrgovic said, he gives the exception and says, no, it's okay. You guys go ahead. I'm all right. Which essentially means he wants step-aside money, right? But in this case, it sounds like, but it could be all gamesmanship. It sounds like Hrgovic really wants to fight for the world titles. But I definitely believe if Hrgovic can get himself a little $5 million out of this deal for not doing anything, he would take that $5 million. Look, man, 5 million pounds or 5 million US dollars goes a long way in Croatia. For doing nothing, because more than likely Hrgovic, he's not. Who cares about this one IBF belt? He getting there with Anthony Joshua, he's probably not going to win. Okay, so it's a little annoying because with Flip Hrgovic being announced as the mandatory, and now Usyk, and it's a couple of days ago it's being reported that Usyk would have to fight Hrgovic. But we all know what boxing is politics, man. There's all kind of money being washed under the table. Usyk's team has come out and said as far as their obligation under the IBF to fight Hrgovic, that's not going to be an issue. And it's not going to stop Usyk from fighting Fury before getting in the ring with Hrgovic. That came out today, November 16th. So when I read that, I said, you know what? it almost doesn't make sense to get in front of this camera and do videos on boxing, because every damn like 12, 24 hours, man, the stories change. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to give you guys, I guess I would just give you, the most up-to-date information we have. But right now it looks like Eddie Hearn is definitely trying to block it, because I know what Eddie Hearn's trying to do. He figures if he can get Usyk stripped. See, because there's two things here that I feel Eddie Hearn's trying to do. One is either get some step-aside money for his client, which he benefits too, right? Big-time step-aside money, okay? Either he gets that, or Usyk gets stripped. Now, if Usyk gets stripped, I mean, the IBF belt is just floating out there, and Hrgovic will be the first in line. The thing is, Flip Hrgovic and Andy Ruiz will more than likely be the ones to face off. But Andy Ruiz is going to be tied up with Wilder, right? As of right now, we know Wilder doesn't want to fight Ruiz, but that's what it's looking like. And if that's the case, that means Flip Hrgovic would have to he would need a dancing partner for that IBF to fight for that IBF title. And you already know who Fast Eddie is looking at to put in the ring with Hrgovic to fight for that IBF title. Okay? This right here, you know what it reminds me of? It's AJ, for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about. He's just trying to get a title back to AJ. And he's going to sit there, man, and sacrifice Hrgovic to get the title back to AJ. And you know what it reminds me of? What De La Hoya did to Saddam Ali. You had Miguel Cotto, kind of on the decline. They put him in there with Saddam Ali. Saddam Ali, yeah, he busted Miguel Cotto up pretty bad that fight. Miguel Cotto was on his way out. He was done. I just think he just fulfilled his last fight in the contract. I don't even think Miguel Cotto cared about that fight. And Saddam Ali, he's on cloud nine. He's feeling good. Then out of nowhere, no one had even heard of this alien named Jaime Munguia. Then this big Mexican alien steps in the ring. He's like 3 times as big as Saddam Ali, yet he somehow is the same weight. And he destroys Saddam Ali, who had gone up to 154 pounds instead of fighting at 147, and just got destroyed. And I remember watching that saying, this is crazy. How is this legal? Where'd this man come from? And that's how I learned about Munguia. So when you look at what happened there, Golden Boy, kind of strategically planning how to get a title in Munguia's hands and introduce him to America off of a big name like Cotto, Saddam Ali being an Olympian, blah, blah, blah. And since then, Munguia has never turned back, although he hasn't really fought elite opposition. So what I'm getting at is, these promoters, they'll cash out a guy, they'll sacrifice one of their fighters to make sure that the better fighter, the more promotable fighter, the bigger money machine fighter gets put in the best position by defeating whoever it is. And like in this case would be Hrgovic, because we saw what happened with Hrgovic and Jalil Zhang. Hrgovic had no business in that ring. He should have never won that fight, but it is what it is. He did what he had to do the later rounds. But with AJ, I just don't see, Hrgovic's a big man. I just don't see him being able to really do much with a guy like AJ, who's faster, more powerful, or equally or more powerful, more athletic, more agile, and at this point, should be more hungry, right? So, I don't know. But let's say Usyk decides to go forward with that fight. Maybe he doesn't want to pay step-aside money. Then you got Usyk in there with Hrgovic. And if Hrgovic somehow, which I doubt it, beats Usyk, then, oh, man, Eddie Hearn is going to get Joshua immediately back in there with in the ring, and he's going to be fighting Hrgovic, and then they have all the belts again. But I just don't see that happening. First of all, I don't think Hrgovic can beat Usyk, And I don't think Usyk's going to be fighting Hrgovic anytime soon. I think this is a money grab. And I think, especially listening to Usyk's team, they're saying that it's not going to be a problem. So they've already gone on record. I'm sure talks have already began. And it's just real annoying for me, a little entertaining but annoying, that Eddie Hearn just does not want to see Usyk and Fury take off. Like, he doesn't want to see that. He doesn't want them to fight for Undisputed, because whoever wins that, they know that AJ or any of their guys, it's going to be a while before they get a real crack. And at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn will be happy to have control of some of that heavyweight hardware. But at the end of the day, he wants AJ to have it. He doesn't want Hrgovic to have it. He doesn't want Jalil Zhang. Yeah, he'll be grateful because, okay, this is one of my guys, but that's not who he really wants. He wants the more marketable guy. He wants the money machine, and that's AJ. So we'll see what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, even if Usyk fights Hrgovic, look, man, he's going to beat him, and then him and Fury will fight by the summer. So it's not that him and Fury will never fight. I mean, Usyk's not losing to no damn Hrgovic. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So that being said, Eddie Hearn, this whole IBF crap, the whole 90-day thing, man, that they have to get the fight off the ground, the whole immediate purse bid, which kind of locks up Usyk from being able to do anything. And a purse bid, let me tell you something. Purse bid's going to suck, because when it goes to that mandatory purse bid, people are going to be lowballing. And for Usyk, he's not going to want to deal with no purse bid, man. He's going to want to be able to make some handsome money. You know, this guy, the amount of money he made fighting AJ in Saudi Arabia was absurd. So to come now with these purse bids they have for, like, you know, $500,000, $1 million, and for him and Hrgovic to split that up, however they're going to split that up, that's just not going to motivate Usyk. Why put all that time and effort into training to come out here and fight for, like, you know, 1/100th of what you made fighting AJ? So more to come, but that's the story, man. But it does sound like Usyk's people are saying it doesn't matter what Eddie Hearn is saying, what the IBF is saying. Usyk moving forward with Fury in February, March should still happen. They have no concerns. And I tend to believe what they're saying. That being said, shout out to the veterans. Shout out to people from all 7 continents. Y'all keep cool. I appreciate the support. Any financial donations is much appreciated. And as always, I'm in the breeze.